You ask someone to do a simple task or point out a minor mistake they made. Instead of agreeing, they instantly push back. The conversation derails into a screaming match, or they shut down entirely and walk away. When we try to correct someone, we almost always default to what psychologists call a you message. You did this wrong. You need to fix that. Biologically, starting a sentence with the word you and following it with a critique triggers the listener's fight or flight response. Their brain interprets the words as a physical attack, and they immediately raise their shields. To bypass that biological defense mechanism, conflict resolution experts rely on a highly specific communication framework. It allows you to express your needs clearly in a way that minimizes the chance of triggering an argument. Grab a pen and a piece of paper. By the end of this video, you will have a customized 4-part script designed to help you communicate your exact needs to someone without triggering an immediate defensive reaction. To start, think of a specific recent conflict you've had, or an ongoing frustrating interaction with a family member, friend, or coworker. Keep that exact scenario in your head. This slide defines why our normal attempts to resolve these conflicts fail. Most of the messages we send are you messages. As the text notes, these have a high probability of putting the other person down, making them feel guilty, and making them resist change entirely. Look at the examples at the bottom. Orders like "stop doing that" or "get into the car" act as conversational dead ends. Blaming statements like "you are acting like a baby" don't communicate a need, they simply assign fault. This slide points out the most destructive version of this trap in red, the if-then threat. Saying, "if you don't do this, then I will do that," removes the other person's agency and forces compliance through fear, ensuring long-term resentment. The alternative is the I message. As shown on these podiums, a you message puts the listener on the defensive by blaming or shaming them. An I message forces you to stop cataloging the other person's flaws and focus entirely on reporting your own feelings. This slide reveals the psychological benefit. By focusing on the speaker and not the listener, the message becomes clear and non-threatening. It builds trust because it tells the listener you trust them to decide what behavior change is necessary, rather than forcing it upon them. Effective communication requires you to surrender the role of dictator. You are strictly recording on your own emotional reality. Now get your paper ready. We are going to write down the core framework. This layout provides the structural skeleton of an effective request. An I message has 4 distinct parts, and leaving out any single one of them breaks the system. Part 1 is stating the emotion. Write down "I feel" and leave a blank. You must use an actual feeling word, like frustrated or sad. Beware the fake I message trap. Saying "I feel that you are annoying" is a you message wearing a disguise. Part 2 is describing the specific behavior. Write down "when you" followed by a blank. This cannot be vague. It must be an objective, observable fact. When you are lazy is an attack. When you leave your clothes on the floor is an observable fact. Part 3 is explaining the tangible effect. Write down "because" and leave a blank. This step is crucial. It connects their action directly to your reality. Explaining exactly how their behavior inconveniences you or impacts your day is what creates empathy. Part 4 is stating the need. Write down "and I need" followed by a blank. You have to clearly articulate what would resolve the tension. Do not expect them to guess what you want. These 4 parts create a closed logical loop. You state how you feel, what caused it, why it matters, and how to fix it, all without launching a personal attack. Let's look at this in practice. Here on the left side of the slide is a highly relatable, ineffective you message. Saying, "How many times do I have to tell you to take out the trash?" is an accusation that invites an argument. Over on the right is the transformed, de-escalated I message version of the exact same request. It reads, "When you forget to take out the trash, it makes me feel frustrated because I don't think you listen to me." Let's map that sentence. First, the emotion, "I feel frustrated." Second, the observable behavior, "When you forget to take out the trash." Third, the tangible effect, "Because I don't think you listen to me." And 4, the implied need, "I need a reminder." Look at your blank piece of paper and review this slide. Pick a specific target relationship from this list, a parent, a sibling, a friend, or a teacher, And recall that conflict you thought of earlier. Start filling in your blanks. Write the first half of your sentence. Anchor your genuine emotion to the specific factual behavior that bothered you. I feel emotion when you behavior. Now complete the second half. State the tangible effect this has on your life and tell them exactly what you need to happen next. Because, effect, and I need action. Forcing yourself to physically write this out is the entire point. The act of writing intercepts the emotional hijacking that normally ruins difficult conversations. Review your handwritten sentence. Pause and verify every word. If you accidentally included any name-calling, judgments, or the phrase, I feel that you, cross it out and rewrite it. If your 4 parts are solid, you have successfully converted a messy, unpredictable conflict into a highly structured, non-threatening request. This structured approach changes the dynamic of the request. By reporting your feelings rather than attacking theirs, you leave the responsibility for modifying the behavior with the person who demonstrated it in the first place. Practice reading your new script out loud to build the muscle memory. Then go deploy it in real life. Use your formula to neutralize that conflict today.